which is the integral e to the x cosine of x dx. Okay. Again, I have the product of two functions, the product of this one and the product of this one. So this is kind of the integration by parts. There's no u substitution I can follow that will make something disappear. So it's an integration by parts. So that means I'm going to follow this. We can go back to this lipid idea. Does it have a log? No. Does it have an inverse? No. Does it have a polynomial? No. No polynomial. Does it have an exponential? Okay, there we go. There's our u. All right. So I'll just do separate color here. So now we're going to say u is equal to e to the x. There's my choice by that lipid idea. And so what's du? Yep. That'll just be e to the x dx. That's an easy one. So again, this is u. And then this whole piece here is going to be my dv. And so now we got to integrate that. If you integrate dv, you get v. Okay, again, what I'm doing is integrating dv, I get v. If I integrate cosine of x, what do we get what? We get what? Sine x, okay? I thought I started negative sine. So the derivative would be negative sine, integral is flip of that. So that would be sine of x. Okay? So now we go back to our formula, which says uv minus v du, v integral du, integral v du. So here we go. U times v, so this will be e to the x sine x minus the integral of v du. So minus the integral of these two guys right here. So this will be e to the x sine x dx. I don't know if you can see what's going to happen already. But there's good news. It does end. But it looks like it's not going to end. But good news for you, it does end. So let's do it again. If I look at this one, now it just converted. It's now integral of e to the x sine of x. So it's just kind of reverse of this. But I can, again, follow lipid. We go all the way through it. So u is going to be what again here? E to the x. So du is equal to e to the x dx. dv is equal to the second half here, sine x dx. So v is equal to, okay, very good, negative cosine of x for the integral of sine of x. Okay. So now we go back to our problem. So I got this guy sitting out here, e to the x sine x minus, of course, now I need parentheses because I'm doing it twice, uv, so that'll be what? I guess negative e to the x cosine of x. Okay, minus v du, so minus these two. I'm going to think ahead a little bit here. I've got a negative cosine of x and an e to the x dx, but I also have a negative sitting out here. So I can make that positive. So I'm trying to do a little bit, shortcuts here. So this negative right here, I notice, is going to take care of this negative right here. So that's how I can make that plus. Then what? It's going to be e to the x cosine of x, and again the dx is on the bottom side, and close my parentheses. So what I end up with is e to the x sine x. Now I'm going to distribute. Okay, so that'll be plus e to the x cosine of x. Distribute again, minus the integral e to the x cosine of x dx. And I'm exactly where I started. Okay, but there's a trick to this. What am I taking the integral of? What am I trying to find the integral of? Let's go back up here. Whoops, too far. I'm trying to find the integral of e to the x cosine dx. So what that means is this whole thing right here, this whole line right here represents what? Say again? Okay. This whole line represents the integral of e to the x cosine of x dx. Okay, I'm kind of squeezing it in here. Let me write that a little clearer. E to the x cosine of x dx is equal to this. Right? Because that's where I started. I started with this, started doing integration by parts, and started getting these pieces. Anybody see the trick? Okay. This right here and this right here are exactly the same thing, right? So I can actually group them together. So I can actually take this guy right here and bring him all the way over here. And he says minus the integral, so what would I do to get him over to the other side? I'd have to add them to the other side. And so if I add them to the other side, I know I have one of them already over there. Add another one, you get two of these. Cosine of x dx is equal to e to the x sine x plus e to the x cosine of x. Now I'm going to put a plus c on the end of this. So what do I do now? I want to solve for this. Divide by 2. So now the answer is 1/2 times this whole thing. Okay, so that's it. Now I could clean it up. I could clean this up to be 1/2 e to the x sine x plus 1/2 e to the x cosine of x. And of course, what would I do with the c? 1/2 of c is just still c. And that's how you do those. When they start to alternate back and forth, you only have to do it twice. Good news, because eventually you'll get a match where you bring it to the other side. Okay? And that's how you do number 8, and then the rest of them associated with that.